هاي أستاذ.
هاي مغري، كيفك؟
الحمد لله، أنت كيفك؟
الحمد لله. كيف أهلك؟
الحمد لله تمام. أنتوا كيفكن؟
الحمد لله.
أهلا أستاذ.
أهلا كريست.
فريق البطل بالدوري الإسباني والوصيف الدوري الإسباني عم يطلعوا برات دوري أبطال أوروبا من نفس الفريق الإنجليزي اللي هو تشيلسي ولك البلوز عم بيطلعوا ريال
أهلا أستاذ.
كيفك يا كاز؟
Your dad has powers? Yeah, he's been invisible my whole life. See? That's horrible, Billy. How's it horrible? Oh, shit.
Look
Your
at
dad has...
my
Nice. Box up. So, Jerry Muffins. Stuff. sleep. Avocados, great salt, squeeze. Smash, filled.
هلا أستاذ.
هلا.
أستاذ
Yes.
الجي اس نحن بعد عنا حصتين صح؟
Yes. والLS عندكم ساعتين.
أستاذ اليوم بنعمل حصة واحدة.
No.
أستاذ اليوم كان في اثنين أمسري وبعد عنا في إيزيكس نحن.
مش رح
وعملنا
خليك
الصبح.
مش رح خليك تتعب. Okay, let's start. Exercise 3, exponential. Let f be a function defined on R by fx equals e to the x over 2 minus e to the x. Part 1. Determine the limit at plus infinity. How much will be the limit at infinity of fx? Who can tell what's the limit at infinity? Equals e to the infinity minus e to the infinity equals infinity minus infinity. Indeterminate form. What we do if infinity minus infinity? What we do? يلا شباب وصبايا شو بنعمل إذا infinity minus infinity؟
common.
فينا ناخد common أو فينا ناخد highest power. Common. What is the common?
e to the power of x.
We take the power, the smallest power as common. Mean the smallest power? Ex over 2 into 1 minus how much? E to the power how much here?
X over 2.
X over 2. Now we replace x by infinity, we get infinity into 1 minus infinity equals infinity into minus infinity. How much infinity times minus infinity?
Minus infinity.
Minus infinity. Or we can take the highest power, which is e to the x minus e to the x, we get minus infinity. Now limit as x tends to minus infinity. Limit as x tends to minus infinity of fx equals e to the minus infinity minus
0.
e to the minus infinity. We get 0 minus 0 equal 0. Part 2. Deduce an asymptote to C. How to deduce an asymptote to C?
نعمل x tends to minus infinity, y tends to 0.
Yeah. So x tends to minus infinity, y tends to 0. What you deduce here?
Horizontal asymptote.
Y equals 0 is a horizontal asymptote. Part 3. Calculate f prime x and draw the table of variations. F prime x equals. What is the derivative of e to the x over 2? What is the derivative of e to the ax?
1 over 2 into EX over
1
2.
over 1 over 2 into ex over 2 minus ex. How to study its sign? We take e to the x over 2 common into half minus ex over 2. We solve it equal to 0. Half minus ex over 2 equal to 0. It means that e to the x over 2 equal half. How to solve this equation? Ln the two sides, ln e to the x over 2 equal ln half يصير عندنا x over 2 equals ln half is ln 1 minus ln 2 تعطينا minus ln 2 x equal minus 2 ln 2. Any questions?
No.
Any questions about the derivative? Now we construct the table of variations. Table of variations is we find f of minus 2 ln 2 تعطينا e to the minus ln 2 minus e to the power minus 2 ln 2. E to the minus ln 2 using your calculator will give half minus e to the minus 2 ln 2 gives 1 over 4. So we get 1 over 4. Table of variations. X, f prime x, fx. Domain of definition minus infinity plus infinity, and f prime x it is 0 at minus 2 ln 2. We put 0. To know the sign here, if I take instead of x 0 and replace it in the derivative, إذا حطينا محل x 0 بتصير e to the 0 1. Half minus 1 is minus half. So to study the sign of f prime, I take a number 0. تطلع معي negative, positive here. So it is increasing, then decreasing. Al minus infinity is 0. Al minus 2 ln 2 is 1 over 4. At plus infinity, the limit is minus infinity. Now draw the curve. Part 4, to draw the curve. This is the curve. This is y equals 0 horizontal asymptote. The maximum is minus 2 ln 2. Minus 2 ln 2 is تقريبا minus 1.4. Minus 1.4, 1 over 4. This is the maximum point. For x equals 0, y equals 0, it passes by the origin. For x equals 0, y equals 0, it passes by the origin. You take some particular points using the calculator mode table. It is better to take particular points. So it is at minus infinity, we have y equals 0 horizontal asymptote, goes up to the maximum minus 1.4, 1 over 4, then decreases to minus infinity. It will pass by 0, 0, and decreases till you take some particular points متبقلنا على calculator and you find the result and you draw the curve. You find at 1, you find at 2 the value at 2, and you draw the curve. At 2 بتعطينا minus 5.38 أو شيء. Part B. Let g be the function defined by gx equals ln e to the x minus x over 2. يعني فينا نحطها إذا بدنا، إذا انتبهنا، ln minus fx. وإذا ما انتبهنا نخليها مثل ما هي ln minus fx. Verify that the domain of definition is 0 plus infinity. How to verify that the domain is 0 plus infinity?
لأنه تحت اللن always positive.
يعني فينا حلها بطريقتين. Minus fx positive. يعني fx negative. fx negative. Graphically, when fx negative, طلعوا على الجراف when f is negative, this part here
0 plus
fx
infinity.
0 till plus infinity. So fx negative in x belongs to 0 plus infinity. So the domain is 0 plus infinity. وإذا ما انتبهنا إنه هي minus fx, we can do it the follow like that. So إذا ما انتبهنا هي minus fx, I put e to the x minus e to the x over 2 positive. I take them to one side, each one to a side. E to the x greater than e to the x over 2. I can skip e and e. So x greater than x over 2. X minus x over 2 positive. Then x over 2 positive. So x is positive. Domain is 0 plus infinity. So domain of G is 0 plus infinity. Any questions about the domain?
بس أول ميثود كيف عملنا؟
أول method اللي minus هيدا لن minus fx positive. هيدا minus fx positive. يعني I multiply by minus fx negative. بتطلع على الجراف fx negative meaning the curve is below the x-axis from 0 till plus infinity. Here this part fx negative.
Yes.
Show that gx minus x can be written in the form of this form. How to verify gx minus x can be written in that form? So gx minus x. Here gx minus x equals ln e to the x minus e to the x over 2 minus x. I can take e to the x common. E to the x common. It will be 1 minus e to the power minus x over 2 minus x. خدنا e to the x common بضل 1 minus e power minus x over 2. Equals. Now we get ln a times b. Ln a times b equal ln a plus ln b. Ln a times b equal ln a plus ln b. So ln e to the x is x plus ln 1 minus e to the power minus x over 2 minus x. X minus x 0.
عملت on test.
أول شيء أخذت ex common 1 minus e power minus x over 2 minus x. This one is ln a times ln b. I can put it as ln a plus ln b. يعني ln e to the x plus ln 1 minus e to the power minus x over 2 minus x. Len e to the x, len will e simplified بضل x. So we get x minus x, we get len 1 minus e power minus x over 2.
أستاذ
Yes.
هونيك كيف صاير minus x over 2 e to the power minus x over 2
هيكاز بتكون في عندنا x squared minus x power 4. شو الكومن هيكاز؟
x squared
x squared.
بضل 1 minus x squared هلا
كيف اجى هيدا x squared هون هيكاز؟ You subtract 4 minus 2 مش هيك؟
yes
If I take e to the x common, to know what remains, I subtract x over 2 minus x, we get minus x over 2.
yes
And deduce that the line D of equation y equal x is an asymptote to gamma. How to prove that this one is an asymptote to gamma? How to prove an oblique asymptote?
شو الجاما أستاذ؟
Curves of G is called. How to prove it is an oblique asymptote?
نعمل
Limit.
minus
Limit as x tends to plus infinity of gx minus x. Limit as x tends to plus infinity لأنه الدومين هو 0 plus infinity. Limit as x tends to plus infinity of gx minus x. So I take limit as x tends to plus infinity of gx minus x equals limit as x tends to plus infinity of len 1 minus e power minus x over 2. It is proved before he len 1 minus e power minus x over 2. I remove the limit and I put instead of x plus infinity. We get len 1 minus e power minus infinity 0. We get len 1, which is 0. Therefore, line D of equation y equal x is an oblique asymptote to gamma at plus infinity. So limit للfx minus y gamma gx minus x is 0. We introduce that y equal x is an oblique asymptote. Now, part 3, how to study the relative positions of gamma and d. Who tells about the sign of gx minus yd? The position هو gx minus yd. So I take gx minus x equal len 1 minus e power minus x over 2. It is not positive nor negative. I solve it equal to 0. Gx minus x equal to 0. So len 1 minus e power minus x over 2 equal to 0. 0 is len 1. Len 1. So I get minus e power minus x over 2, which is negative. It cannot be 0. So no intersection. To know the position, I take any value. إذا حطينا محل x1, we get negative. This len 1 minus e power minus x over 2 is always negative. We say that gamma is below D.
أستاذ هيدا impossible ولا
Impossible, yes. Impossible. E to the minus x over 2 equal to 0 is impossible. It is always negative. And gamma is below the curve. أو gamma is below D.
أستاذ بس هون في 1 وين راح هيدا؟
ما 1 minus 1 is 0. هذا we remove len مع len. هذا ال 1 وهذا ال 1.
اوكي.
Part 4. Study the variations of G and trace gamma. Study the variations of G and trace gamma. Len u, derivative of len u is u prime over u. Derivative of len u is u prime على u. نحن كانت الفانكشن عندنا اياها len e to the x minus e to the power x over 2. G prime equal len u, u prime, derivative of ex is ex minus half e to the x over 2 over u. We solve g prime x equal to 0. E to the x minus half e to the x over 2 equal to 0. Take e to the x over 2 common. E to the x over 2 minus half equal to 0. This e to the x over 2 is positive. So e to the x over 2 equals half. So len e to the x over 2 equal len half x over 2, nothing here. X over 2 equal minus len 2. X equal minus 2 len 2 is rejected. Why it is rejected? It is rejected لأنه الدومين هو دومين للجي. دومين للجي is 0 plus infinity. So to note a sign, if we take any number greater than 0, like 1, it will be positive. So g prime x, gx على 0. بنجيب الليمت على 0 الليمت على plus infinity. So positive limit as x tends to plus infinity of gx equals limit as x tends to plus infinity lal 1 minus e power minus x over 2, it will be plus infinity. Limit as x tends to 0 plus, we get len 0 equal minus infinity. Now we need to trace the curve. We have the line y equal x is an asymptote. This is the line y equal x. This is the line y equal x. So y equal x is an asymptote. The curve is increasing from 0 plus infinity, 0 minus infinity, and it goes near the oblique, it is below the oblique asymptote y equal x. البارتس اللي بعدين not required. البارت 5, 6 are not required. Now take a break for 2 و 5 وبنكمل الثاني exercise. Yes هيكاز.
بس فيني نشوف أبقى شو كاتبين رقم
Okay.
4 شوي كمان فوق.
هيدا drawing ما في.
بلا drawing فيه بس بعدين ما في.
إيه حتى drawing لنشوف.
هذا drawing.
اوكي.
يلا على 2 و 5 بنكمل تاني exercise. Take a break for 20 minutes. For 15
يلا باي.
minutes. Bye. Yes هيكاز.
باي باي
هيكاز أنا.
ستيف.
بس سكند ما لحقت تكتب.
Bye, Stays.
Hi. Which one يلا you can copy هيكاز.
نفس الشيء ستيز اللي قبل حطيت.
اوكي يلا ها.
دون ستيز ميرسي.
اوكي.
ايمتى بدنا نعمل جوين؟
2 و 5.
2 5
Yes.
اوكي.